Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. From a horror movie that I just reviewed uh, to one of the classic comedy movies, especially of the 90s, one that is still pretty amazing. I know some people will say a couple of things about this film, but overall, I think it stands up really well. It is hilarious as hell. I watched this movie close to 20 times, and 21 was yesterday afternoon. I'm talking about Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Jim Carrey at one of his best. Um, this was the second movie that I watched with Jim Carrey in it. The first one being The Mask, and then this is the second one that I watched. Directed by Tom Shadyac, who's got a quite big history with Jim Carrey, and it stars a pre-Friends. In fact, both came out in the same year, so I think this was probably shot 1993 to early 1994, and she went on to shoot Friends. Courtney Cox is the love interest. You got Toad Loke, who I know is some kind of a rapper. I think this is the only movie I've actually seen him in, and his voice is really grating on the nerves. I do not understand Hollywood's obsession with making black rappers, especially. I know there's a couple of white guys also became actors. Marky Mark Wahlberg, and maybe there's a couple of others, but don't understand the obsession of making rappers into movie stars. You've also got Sean Young, who I had never seen her in anything else before, and you have Dan Marino, who I don't really get American football, but he was the quarterback, which I think is a forward for the Miami Dolphins, and I think he's a big deal. I'm not really sure. Anyway, what can I possibly say about this movie, which is pretty famous? Ace Ventura, funny stuff. The things that I always love about this movie is his facial expressions, his walk, the way that he drives the car. I think he's doing a little take on Elvis as well. And the Finkel and Einhorn thing is always going to make me laugh. You know, I remember the scene about him going and seeing the mother of Ray Finkel, who was this sort of, I wouldn't call him an unknown player, but he was part of the team, the Miami Dolphins, that he had a relatively free field goal kick at the end of the Super Bowl, which cost the Dolphins the championship and basically ruined his career. He is supposed to have vanished almost without a trace after that, and supposed to have been in a mental asylum at one point because he had some homicidal tendencies. And so basically some people have kidnapped the Dolphins mascot. What's the name of the mascot? I keep forgetting. Keep want to say Bubbles, but Snowflake. Sorry, that's the name. Snowflake, and because he is missing, they finally decide. Somebody in the organization recommends Ace Ventura because she found her one of her missing pets. So similarly, they call up Ace, and he does, go into the scene in which he goes. This is probably my favorite William Shatner James T. Kirk impersonation, where Jim Carrey basically goes into the emptied out pool, and he goes there and he mimics William Shatner doing, and then he speaks the way that William Shatner does, a little bit exaggerated, but it's really funny. And then he does Scotty as well, so, and Bones. So that's one of my favorite things about this movie, and one of the reasons why I love Jim Carrey, for the fact that he is. I know there's some people who don't like him. I love the guy. All right, love the guy because he makes me laugh, and he's a great actor as well. So so basically they find out that Ray Winkle did a sex change, but he apparently forgot about his and he basically killed this jogger, who ends up being Louis Einhorn, who is supposed to have been the lieutenant in the Miami area, the new lieutenant in the Miami area. He kills her and basically takes over her role, and you know, pretends to be a woman. So there's some funny scenes. Oh yeah, my other favorite scene basically is the one in the apartment where he does the the sliding door and starts screaming. That's superb. A lot of funny scenes in this movie. Udo Kier has a small role as Ronald Camp. Who else was in this movie? What's the guy who plays John Capote? I don't know if that's his name. John Capote, who plays Sergeant Aguero. And yeah, pretty funny movie. As a comedy, I will give it a 10 out of 10. There's hardly anything wrong with the movie. Overall, I would probably give this movie a 9 out of 10, but if you're looking at it just as a pure comedy, it's gold. It is basically gold. For me, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was made on a budget of 15 million and made around $107.2 million at the box office. Of course, we're not counting streaming and DVD and Blu-ray sales, but for a comedy on a low budget, it was actually pretty successful. Yeah, and this is the movie that actually broke this, along with The Mask, basically broke Jim Carrey into the public and became a household name. So it's always fantastic to watch him as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. So that's it. This is just few thoughts about the movie for me. I shall see you pretty soon.